Okay. Thank you. No miracles here? Nope. Okay. All right. Jaya Radha Madhuva Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhuva Kunya Bihari Gopi Janabalaba Ire Bharadhaji Gopi Janabalaba Ire Bharadhaji Yasodanandana Brajajanuranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanuranjana Jamuna Tera Vanachagunti Munatira Vanachagunti Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunjabekhanti Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunjabekhanti Gopi Janaballabha Kinivadatanti Gopi Janaballabha Kinivadatanti Yasodanandana Brajajanuranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanuranjana Jamuna Tera Vanachanti Yamuna Tera Vanachanti Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunjabekhanti Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunya Bihangutsi. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravarikacharya Astatera Satishi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Chandananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Mahārishila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anandagoti voice now Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prema Seko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shiva Siddhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Sai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturam Ki Jai Jagadada Swami Ki Jai Munamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories, the assembled devotees, all glories, the assembled devotees, all glories, the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prastaya Budle, Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste, Saraswati Devi Orvani Pajani Nivasesha Shinyavadi Pasachate. So today we are starting chapter 66 in the 10th canto, which is entitled Pondracha, the false Vasudeva. Actually, Vasudeva, not Vasudeva. Actually, they didn't put the right accent on it. I don't know how they did it on the internet there. But anyway, it's Vasudeva, not Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the father of Krishna. But here in at least the edition I have it has Vasudeva, which is wrong. So anyway, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'm going to quickly read the chapter summary. This chapter relates how Lord Krishna went to Kashi, present-day Benares, and killed Pondraka and Kashi Raj, and how the Lord Sudarshana Disk defeated a demon, incinerated the city of Kashi, and killed Sudakshana. While Lord Baladev was visiting Braja, King Pondraka of Kurusha, encouraged by fools, announced that he was the real Vasudeva. Thus he challenged Lord Krishna with the following message. Since I alone am the supreme, the true personality of Godhead, you should give up your false claim to this position, as well as my divine symbols, and take shelter of me. If you do not, then prepare for battle. When Ugrasena and the members of the royal assembly heard Pondraka's foolish boast, they all laughed heartily. Lord Krishna then told Pondraka's messenger to convey a message to his master. O fool, I will force you to give up the so-called Sudarshana Disk and the other divine symbols of mine you have dared to assume. And when you lie down on the battlefield, you will become the shelter of dogs. Lord Krishna then went to Kashi. Pondraka, seeing the Lord preparing for battle, quickly came out of the city to confront him with his army. His friend Kashi Raj followed him, leading the rear guard. Just as the fire of universal devastation destroys every living being in all directions, so Lord Krishna annihilated the armies of Pondraka and Kashi Raj. Then, after chastising Pondraka, the Lord beheaded both him and Kashi Raj with his Sudarshan disk. Thereafter, he returned to Dwaraka. Because Pondraka had constantly meditated on the Supreme Lord, even dressing like him, he gained liberation. Wow. So I guess many of these bogus gurus will get liberation. When Krishna beheaded Kashiraj, the king's head flew into his city. And when his queen's sons and other relatives saw it, they all began to lament. At that time, a son of Kashiraja's named Sudakshina, wanting to avenge his father's death, began worshiping Lord Shiva with the intention of destroying his father's killer. Gratified by Sudakshina's worship, Lord Shiva offered him a choice of benedictions, and Sudakshina asked for a means to kill the one who had slain his father. Lord Shiva advised him to worship the Dakshinagni fire with black magic rituals. This Sudakshina did, with the result that a fearsome demon with a body of flames appeared from the pit of the sacrificial fire. The demon rose up carrying a fiery trident and at once set off for Dwarka. The residents of Lord Krishna's capital became terrified as the demon approached the city, but Lord Krishna assured them of protection and dispatched his Sudarshana chakra to oppose the magic creation of Lord Shiva. The Sudarshana overpowered the demon, who then returned to Varanasi and burned Sudakshina to ashes, together with his priests. The Sudarshana disc, following the demon, entered Varanasi and burned the entire city to the ground. Then the Lord's disc returned to his side in Dwarka. So that's the summary. So now, verse 1. Shri Shugovacha Ananda Varjang Gate Rame Kushadi Patir Nripa Vasudevo Ong iti agno dutam Krishnaya prahinot Shri Shuguvacha Nannavrajam gate rame Karushadi Patir Nripa Vasudevo ham ityakyo Dutang Krishnaya praninot Shri Shuguvacha Nannavrajam gate rame Kurushadi Patir Nripa Vasudevo ham ityagno Dutam Krishnaya prahinot Shishuguvacha Nannavrajangate Rame Purushadi Patir Nripa Vasudevo ham ityagno Dutam Krishnaya prahinot please. Right? Sri Shugu Vacha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Nanda of Nanda Maharaja, Vrajam to the coward village, Gate having gone, Rame, Lord Balarama, Karusha Adipati, the ruler of Karusha Pondraka, Nripa, O king, Parikshit, Vasudeva, the supreme lord, Vasudeva, Aham, I, Iti, thus thinking, Agna, foolish, Dutam, a messenger, Krishnaya, to Lord Krishna, Prahinat, sent. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, while Lord Balaram was away visiting Nanda's village of Braja, the ruler of Kurusha, foolishly thinking, I am the supreme lord, Vasudeva, sent a messenger to Lord Krishna. You can repeat. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, while Lord Balaram was away, visiting Nanda's village of Braja, the ruler of Kurusha, foolishly thinking, I am the supreme Lord Vasudeva, sent a messenger to Lord Krishna. So there's the purport by the followers of the Divine Grace of the Prabhupada. Since Lord Rama had gone to Nanda Braj, Pundraka foolishly thought that Lord Krishna would be alone and therefore easy to challenge. Thus he dared to send his crazy message to the Lord. So there's some commentaries here, very short commentaries we can read. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in the 66th chapter, the king of Kurusha, Pundraka, showing his powers in the name of Vasudeva to cheat people, sent a messenger to Dwarka. Krishna then destroyed Pundraka, his friend, the king of Kashi, his son, and the city of Kashi. When Balaram had gone to Braj, thinking Krishna was now alone, Pundraka, thinking that he was Vasudeva, sent a messenger to Krishna. Again, that Vasudeva should actually have anyway. Well, there's no accents in the commentaries anyway. And Jiva Goswami says, and remembering how Balaram consoled Gokula, becoming contented in heart, he then spoke on remembering a funny incident in Dwarka after Balaram had gone to Braja. So this is pretty much the same thing. If Balaram had been present, the incident would not have taken place, since he would have become uncontrollably angry in the beginning. That's actually interesting. Pundraka announced through the messenger that he was Vasudeva, here's the accent again, since he was a fool, Ajna, without intelligence at all. Because of this, he thought that the title of the Supreme Lord had been assigned to Krishna as it had been done for himself. Shukadeva calls out Parikshit in amusement. So let's see, Sanatana Goswami's says the same thing. Okay, so again the verse. Shishugo vacha nanda varasham gate rame kurushari patirapa vasudeva ityuktva yo Nutam Krishnaya Lord. So Omagada Timiranda Shagananjana Shlakya Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigadave Namaha. Of course, this is quite a humorous story, and one may think, how is it possible for someone to think that they're God? Isn't it? But the interesting thing is, we are also thinking the same way. We are little Pundrikas. What does that mean? Krishna describes this in the chapter Divine and Demoniac Natures in the Bhagavad Gita. What does he say? Ishvara ham, aham bogi, siroham balavan sukhi. So each and every one of us, we want to become Purushas. That doesn't mean, males in a physical sense. But we want to become the supreme male, or the controller, Ishvara. Just like we hear about Krishna being Ishvara, Paramishvara, Ishvara, Paramakrishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karna Karnam. So we also, same thing, we want to be the controller, and we get very upset when we're not in control. Ishvara, aham bogi. And we think of our own enjoyment is very important. Even in Krishna consciousness, we think, my business is to enjoy Krishna. Of course, Krishna consciousness is enjoyable. But the mentality should be to please Krishna, please the spiritual master, and this way you'll enjoy, but the motive should not be, I want to enjoy. Just like if you see a big feast, the motive should be, oh, it's so nice that people will get a chance to eat prasadam, just like this Sunday. I wasn't, because I have a specific diet. If I hadn't followed the diet, I would have been thinking of enjoying it anyway. But I was actually thinking how nice it is that everybody is getting Krishna's prasadam, and they're all sitting there joyfully eating. Reminded me of the Panihati festival, where everybody was going, Haribol, Haribol. Everyone was sitting outside. Not everyone, but many people were sitting outside enjoying life like this. So, yeah, that's the real enjoyment. But as long as we're thinking of our own enjoyment, that's a demoniac mentality. And then, hum bogi, siddho hum. I'm powerful. I can control my body. But can you actually even control your body? Can you control others? Just like someone said to me the other day, you have to control your disciples. And I said, submissive disciple is an oxymoron. It's contradictory terms. So I've discovered very, very quickly after I took on disciples that you can't control them. You have to say, pretty please, with sugar on top. So, Siddhoham Balavan, I'm very strong, just like we exercise, isn't it? Ishwar is pumping iron, becoming very strong. And then Sukhi, I'm happy, or I want my own happiness. So, each and every one of us is thinking like that. And how does it arise? It arises because of whatever opulences or talents or facilities or money that has been given to us by this, or lent to us, not given to us, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so, therefore, you have devotees, which everybody knows this verse, like Queen Kunti. She's praying to become detached, Janmashvarya Shutasha Shibir, Edamana Adapuman, Twamakin Shinagochara. That, we're attached to our birth. Birth means, basically those who have some high-class family. Just like even in the West, I was told that I was born as one of the chosen people. Isn't it? You don't know what that means. Anyway, what to speak of in India, where there's also a caste distinction. Even traditionally, amongst the Jewish people, they had caste distinctions, Like one of my disciples is considered the highest caste. Kohanim. He's the priestly caste, and I'm basically just like the Vaishya caste. Anyway, and so we're proud of our birth, Janma Aishvarya, and then when we get some money, then we think we can get away with any damn thing. Just like you see these super rich people in America, billionaires. I mean, I was just looking at Bill Gates. Sorry, I like him, not criticizing him, but I was just looking at his yacht. He hasn't even stepped foot in it, but he spends $500 million, isn't it, on his yacht. And all, they have these big yachts, and people get really upset when they see them. So they, Aishwarya, opulence, makes you think you can do anything. You don't treat people. I'm not saying that he's like that. I'm not pointing out any specific individual. But you think you can deal with, we've seen this in other cases, deal with women in a certain way and just like throw them away like tissues that you've had. Just like I was sneezing and just like, I can't throw it away right here, so when I get back, I'll just throw it in the garbage. So it's like that. Janaisha Shutasha Shibir, and then someone is very beautiful, handsome, like that. And so this leads us to become prideful. And, even in Krishna consciousness, if we could lead a nice kirtan, we become, I was just thinking about this the other day, and like you become initiating guru in ISKCON or outside of ISKCON or something like that, and then it becomes like a personality cult. To me it's really distasteful. It's a personality cult. But you see this in ISKCON. And it's not criticizing any specific individual or any guru or anything like that, but it becomes like that. And then because of pride, and of course Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that that's one of the causes of deviation in Krishna, causes of anarthas in Krishna consciousness. When you get some spiritual opulences, some realization, that's also an opulence, isn't it? Not necessarily that you look good, but, you're educated, have some opulence, you can recite a lot of verses, you have a lot of followers, and then that's it. Then you begin to think, I'm God. Seriously. You forget your dependence on Krishna. You forget there's the Krishna factor. And so, what's the solution for that? I was actually thinking about that today in regard to myself, because, we all have that tendency. The solution to that is always having a strong intelligence, because you can't trust the mind. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul when it's controlled by the intelligence, and it's the enemy when it's not controlled. The mind is just like, it's amazing. Like last night, I was having a dream. This is not about being the supreme controller. Don't worry. Towards the end of the night, I had a dream, just showing you how strong the mind is. I was having a dream, and in that dream, I was eating an ice cream cone. Nothing to do with Krishna. It was offered to Krishna. It was in India. It was in one of those carts, that they have ice cream. They sell ice cream for the carts. And I thought, in the stupid thing in the mind, I was thinking, you don't know whether this ice cream has been thawed and refrozen, and it may not be good for you, but I thought, it's good. I'm going to take it. I was eating, and I was tasting it. Can you imagine? I actually tasted this ice cream. Chocolate. So that's a good way of losing weight. You just taste it in your mind. Right? You just eat in your mind, and then you're full. Of course, if you please Krishna, like Draupadi did, and Muni, he was full after that. So, but I was thinking, what I learned from that had nothing to do with ice cream. What I learned from that is that the mind is so powerful, it can tell you so many things. And when you talk about controlling, we talk about Rupa Goswami's verse in the Upadeshamrita, that Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krota Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udurpashta Vegam. All those things are actually, let's say, centered, the network, the mind. And if you make your intelligence strong in Krishna consciousness and can control the mind with intelligence, beat the mind with a shoe, as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, beat the mind with a shoes or a cane or something like that. When you go into his room in Radha Kund, they actually have the cane, which they used to let you take out of the case and hit yourself on the head with. Has anyone done that? And the shoes too. But nowadays they won't let you touch those things. So it's literally like that. You always have to, is this reality? Am I actually the controller? Am I treating this person nicely? Am I controlling my tongue and eating properly or the proper food? Am I carrying out the order of my spiritual master? So it requires making the intelligence very strong, because the mind is already strong. Exercise. So you exercise the intelligence, thinking on how to please Krishna's representative. I was also listening to a class today. It was really, really wonderful, where Prabhupada was talking about the importance of pleasing Krishna's representative. And Prabhupada actually said, this was a verse in the Bhagavatam, where Prabhupada was talking about the Pandavas. It was actually a verse of the Bhagavatam about the Pandavas retiring. And Prabhupada said, why are we hearing about these things? And Prabhupada said, it's better to hear about Krishna's devotees, devotee kata, pure devotees, of course, Pandavas. And Prabhupada kept talking about Arjuna in particular, who I've mentioned many times as one of my heroes. But it's better to hear about Krishna's devotees than to hear about Krishna. I was thinking about that also in the way that I recommend the devotees, when they're preaching Krishna consciousness, bringing new people to the movement, that they give people Prabhupada's Lilamrita in the beginning to hear about the devotee. And even Bhagavad Gita is a verse about a devotee. It's a book about a devotee, right? A devotee's spiritual progress. That's what it's about. Yes, Krishna is there. But it's the spiritual progress of a devotee from attachment to surrender. That's Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is so important. So anyway, so Prabhupada was saying, and then Prabhupada, of course, quoted this famous verse from that Lord Shiva spoke. It's actually interesting the way that Prabhupada defined the words. He said, Aradhanam sarvesham, Vishnu aradhanam param, tasmat parataram devi, tvariyanam samarchanam. And the first thing Prabhupada said was very interesting. When he was defining this particular verse, giving the translation of this verse, he said, this is Lord Shiva calling his wife Devi. And he said, this is nothing to do with the topic of class. He said the husband should always call their wife Devi. And Prabhupada said the husband should see their wife as a goddess. I thought that was really interesting. Anyway, go back to the topic, because it's fresh in my mind. So, Aradhananam, of all types of worship, Sarvesham, Aradhanam of the worship, Sarvesham, of all, Vishnu, the worship of Vishnu is Param. But even better than that is worship of the devotees of Vishnu. So this whole class was about devotees of Vishnu, serving the devotees of Vishnu, glorifying the devotees of Vishnu as more important than, and bringing people to be devotees of Vishnu, because actually Prabhupada also cited this verse in the Bhagavad Gita where no one is more dear to me than he who teaches this Bhagavad Gita to the devotees. It's interesting, actually, if you listen to Prabhupada's classes, most of the verses Prabhupada quotes are from the Gita. You know, sometimes you don't hear that so much anymore in classes, like, you know, different, you know, obviously there's standard verses from the Bhagavatam that Prabhupada quotes. Like in this class he did too, the first verse, Jamadhyasya Yataha, etc., the first verse of the Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada made the point very strongly, and I understand that if we want to avoid this demoniac mentality, the methodology is to understand, again, you know, Gopi Varta Padakama, Dasa Dasa, Dasa Anudasa, to actually integrate the connection, especially those in the Krishna conscious movement, the connection with His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, and be thinking of pleasing Prabhupada. And that's how you can eliminate the tendency. If you're thinking like that, your intelligence is fixed in that, you eliminate the tendency to think demoniacally. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balamansuki. This property, this temple, like we're building a temple here, this temple is Prabhupada's temple, you know, Radha Golokananda's temple, meant for Prabhupada's pleasure. People are taking prasadam on Sunday. That will please Prabhupada. What is that verse? Chatur Vidha Bhog. Isn't it? We chant that every morning. Bhagavat Prasada. That the spiritual master is arranging for all the, you know, 4 different types of prasadam. So, you know, then if you fix your intelligence like that, then every time, and you have to really be monitoring 24 hours a day. You got to monitor your mind. You have to keep the webcam on your mind 24 hours a day, you know. You know, this thought arises that I'm the controller of my money, my family, my disciples, my body, my home, whatever, then this is not right consciousness. That's what I try to do. Whenever those thoughts arise, I just think, huh? Why am I thinking about this? This is not the right consciousness because I'm a servant of Prabhupada. And then you avoid becoming like Pondrika. Also, just wanted to finish. Oh my God, I had something else. So if you don't do that, then Krishna will come, like he did with Pondrika. Harish ye taddanam shanai. He will take away everything. And then you really understand. You become bereft of everything. You say, okay, now I understand. I'm not God. And that will happen. And even you observe some of these people in the world who become rich and famous, when their karma runs out at a certain point, you can actually see the law of karma acting. It runs out, and then it's all downhill from them, from then on. It's just like, oh my God, they're riding the crest of the wave, you know, the surfer analogy. And then, whoo, that's it. Either that happens at the time of death or during this life. So anyway, that's the option we have as devotees. If we become proud of whatever Krishna has lent us, it's going to be taken away. So the way to avoid that, just to summarize, is to consider ourselves always thinking the intelligence, always monitoring the mind so that demoniac mentality does not arise. So, any questions? We have about 10 seconds left. Yes? Yeah. What, the Danam, the Janam, the Sundari? Oh, yeah. Trinadapi Sunichena. Yeah, that's humility, that I'm a servant. Yeah. Isn't it? What does humility means? Does it mean? It means more to think more about the person you're serving than yourself. Or sometimes we say, not to think more about, not to think less of yourself, but to think of yourself less. But really it means to think, you can't really think of yourself less. That's actually impossible, unless you think of someone else and pleasing them. So that's why bhakti is superior to cutting down the false ego. Without bhakti, or loving someone else, trinadapi sunichena does not arise. It's impossible. Because in the material world, let's say, I love my children because they're my children. It's still an extension of myself. I'm still loving myself. I love my country. It's an extension of me, right? I love the human race because I'm human, or trying to be human. So I love all animals, except for the spider. So, the cockroach. So you really can't get to that love, the selflessness, until it's with God, until it's with Krishna. You can't get to Trinadapi Sunichena. I don't see any other way unless you put that bhakti factor in, isn't it? Because ultimately you are going to be thinking of yourself. I'm so humble. At least you're going to think how humble you are. I really achieved Trinadapi Sunichena Tarori Vasishnana Manida Manadena Kirtani. No, I haven't achieved that. But anyway, the secret, that's really the secret. Think of pleasing Krishna. Think of pleasing Krishna's devotees. Think of bringing people to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and pleasing him. And then Trinadapi Sunichena comes.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Marhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Asa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Pasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham. Namaham Vishnu Pataya Krishna Pastaya Bhutanvaya Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Samini Dominde Vishnu Pataya Krishna Pastaya Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurvani Vacha Nege Divasesha Shanyavade Vasachade Satarande Krishna Jainana Ramanachananda Shri Advaita Karada Sivasade Normakta Brenda Shiva Sade, go out to Brenda. On a John, later. Naya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Later. Radha Shiva Sade, Norata Brenda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hey, Friday, Jai Om Vishnu Pad.
Chaitadarpanamarjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrikavitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratibanam Burnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakriba Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amaninam Anadena Kirtanya Sadai Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Hoitaki Twai Kainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Vambudao Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vichintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Varanam Gad Garudai Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishavapadamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahatakarotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Patomat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge,